Sorry, just give me a second while I try to process what I watched. I okay. All right. Hi everyone. My name is Amber. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, hello. I am Amber. I do a mixture of different types of videos that I hope will be for your viewing pleasure. Okay. Let's just jump right into it. I have been meaning to watch this movie for a while. Finally got around to it yesterday night. And still don't understand. So, as you can see by the title, I watched the movie Trust, which includes Catherine Nicarama. Nicarama is how you say her last name. Victoria Justice and that Alexander Daddario's brother, who was in Shadowhunters and was brilliant. That one. And of course, Catherine was also in it, which is really weird seeing them in a movie again together and watching what unfolded happen. It was weird for a lot of Shadowhunters fans to watch them act together in this particular movie if they did watch it. But that being said, let's just get into what happened in the movie. This movie is about a young married couple. One is a gallery owner, the other is like a news anchor. And basically, they have been together since high school. And yeah, they're a young couple whose lives are barely getting started. Like they were married fairly recently, um, but also have been married for a while. So like, they felt both like they were in like their early, maybe reaching mid 20s. So maybe like in their early 20s they got married. So they were still basically figuring married life out and figuring their lives out until finally things just started picking up for them. And the woman, who is played by Victoria Justice, she is very driven. She wants to become the hip new gallery owner and do well. She has just signed this new client who is very handsy, touchy, but she pushes through because she obviously wants to do well. But I think her wants sort of get the better of her because she seems a little bit intrigued sometimes, and that's what was a little confusing to me. I was like, do you want him? Like, I don't understand, like, because in the end, when she, like, her husband, like, flash forward to what I'm going to be talking about later, is questioning if she was unfaithful, she like didn't answer him, but she technically was mentally. She didn't do anything, but like in her mind, you can see things were going on and she wanted things and everything, and she might have said no, but like you still went too far and you let certain things happen which were not okay, and you let your mind go to places that it shouldn't have. So I don't know. And then they didn't really specify what happened with that. Like it was just kind of like, I guess they talked it through. Spoiler alert, they end up together with a kid at the end, which is weird. I mean, they kind of mentioned having a kid at the beginning, and like that they wanted it, so they were like, I think they were in their mid 20s, like, they had been together for a while, and so like they were planning to have a kid, and I guess it just like was something that she didn't want to talk about because it was like something that, I don't know, maybe got in the way of like what she was like trying to do at the moment. Maybe she did seem like she wanted it, but like just not now. Maybe like the idea of like motherhood scared her, or like I don't know what it was. It wasn't really specified. And she didn't really talk about it. It just kind of was like you could see little signs of like she wanted it, but she wasn't sure. And I think that's all they wanted us to know. I felt like there should have been more development with that. Instead of just at the end, it was just like, oh, we have a kid now. It was like, okay, and she's happy. Good for them. And so she is very invested in her work, and the way the trailer made it seem, it was like she was so invested, and her husband like did everything for her and did nothing for himself, and that would have been a good plot for a movie. That being said, he did what he wanted to do. He did what he liked to do. He seemed fairly happy with her up to a point where she just seemed kind of distant, instead of like she didn't seem like she was like in love with him as he was with her. And I think that is what kind of was a little weird, because they didn't kind of elaborate on it. And so it would have made sense if he was like giving his all, for her, but he seemed fairly content in everything else. It was just the relationship. And then in the end, he was like, it was whatever, what happened, he did because it was something that felt good to him. And I was just like, well, you didn't really specify that. That wasn't really okay. I mean, you could have just said, like, you weren't feeling it anymore, because it felt like you weren't feeling it anymore because she wasn't feeling it. So, like, I don't know. And so then uh he gets kind of distant and upset about certain things that are happening. He plans a trip for them to go to Paris. She says no, but then she ends up going to Paris anyway for work, which upsets him. And so he's just, doing his thing. He's kind of bothered, but he still loves her. And the fact that he's like kind of acting distant now towards her, raises red flags for her. So she finds out that through a friend that you can hire someone to basically catch your man if they're cheating on you, which I don't know if it's a real thing. I understand it, but why would you use it? But people would use it, but why? But okay. So basically, it's just a service. And I get like if it was a friend or someone doing it, like it was like it's a whole service where you hire someone to go and like hit on your man and see if he cheats on you. And she doesn't like take it any further than that. It's just like a matter of like she's recording, she catches you in the act that you want to pursue something, and just like nah. And then she gives it to the significant other. Uh and this person ends up being the girl from Shadowhunters, Cat, Nicarama. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Uh, and so she ends up being the one she hires, and she's like, if you want to call it off, just text me and we'll call it off. And I guess she realized that the guy that who is on the news every day, and she's like, I think she's a journalist major. I don't know if that was the true thing. Um, is this lady's wife and this lady's husband, and she is kind of interested in him. Like she and her boyfriend have like a list of like people that she can be with, and it's okay. And he was on the list for some weird reason, and so the girl ends up texting her like to call it off and everything, and she decides, well, I'm gonna do it anyway. And she doesn't record anything, she doesn't take any pictures or anything besides for her, and she just does her own thing, and she gets the guy drunk, and he cheats on her because he is unhappy, and he drank too much, and she kind of continued the whole thing when she wasn't supposed to. And there's so many people in this, and we can go here and there and whose fault is where and what, but like basically this relationship did not seem to be going well because she was too invested in her work and he was feeling lonely, which does not mean that you should cheat, but that is what happened. And so instead of like leaving her or breaking up with her, he ends up cheating on her. And And then the girl ends up at the art gallery for the guy later on in the movie, the guy who the woman, the wife hired. I'm like going back and forth. I'm like this person, that person, because I don't remember names in movies a lot. If you couldn't tell, so then we learn because it goes like back and forth, like from one person's point of view to the other person's point of view, what happened at that time, and then we're here, and then we're gonna go back to that time, um, and we see what happened in the Paris trip and how many mistakes the wife made, but nothing happened. But things almost happened, and you were almost okay with them happening, but you're not gonna tell your husband because you just found out that he cheated on you, and that's more important, which it is important, but girl, like you did not see this thing falling apart. You did not. Okay. um so basically, uh the the girl ends up at the gallery. The other guy, it's his gallery exhibit. Then there's the wife and the husband that are there. The husband freaks out because the girl he cheated on his wife with is there. The guy who it's gallery exhibited is, ends up wanting to get with the girl who the guy cheated with, and the wife, who clearly knows who this is, notices her husband acting suspicious, and there's this whole scene where they're in the car on the way home. He tells her what happened. She freaks out. Then the girl that was hired ends up at the house, explains what happened, basically is taking like no blame in her part, and is saying, well, this never happens, but I wanted to, and it just was like, girl, girl. And then we have this moment of like, well, are they gonna get back together because they seem mad at each other? What are they still doing in the same house? She's still wearing the same clothes as the day before. What is happening? Then they're like sitting there talking, and then there's a moment where like he brings up Paris again, and then she brings up, oh, for Christmas, because Christmas is like 2 days away. Like what is she gonna do? What's gonna happen? Is he gonna come back? And then it fast forwards to them and the baby, and that is it. And so the guy whose gallery exhibited is, he just kind of ends up, like, the girl comes out, doesn't want to be with him, obviously. She just wanted to go talk to the guy and ride over to his house. And so then he, like, rides away, and his exhibit, like, went well, but I don't think the girl's gonna have him again, the wife, because he is no good. So we can assume that the wife learned her lesson, and that she should pay more attention to her and be more faithful to her husband, and the husband should be completely faithful to her, and they should probably go to couples therapy and fix their relationship, because what happened? And it went to the extremes. Like, did we really need to go to these extremes? Because I was just like, this is not what I expected this movie to be about, but okay. And it could have been interesting, but I don't know. Just, it was a lot of oh no's, oh no's, oh no's. So we can assume that they went through all that and then they had a kid. We can assume. We do not know. And this movie was like an hour and 40 minutes, so maybe an hour and 20 minutes. So I'm just sitting here like, well, this is not what I expected. I expected the guy to cheat on her, and then the wife to cheat on him, and then somehow they end up all four together and trying to figure something out. I don't know. No, like, I don't know. I say I don't know because I truly don't know what I watched, and I was just sitting there like, this was the movie? This was the movie. Why? Why was this the movie? It had such potential. Yeah. So with that being all said and done, I think that's where we're going to wrap up this video. I hope to see you all very soon. And yeah, I'm going to try to watch Eternals tonight and get a review out for you guys tomorrow. I've been trying all weekend long. Hasn't happened. Lots of things happening, getting back on track, trying to make sure everything is going well. And trying to make sure that these videos are the best I possibly can make them for you guys, because sometimes I feel like I just need to get them done, and I do enjoy doing them, but sometimes it's like they're not the best that they could have been. And I really am sorry about that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, I'll see y'all soon. Bye!